Hello and welcome. Every manager has been there. You have a fantastic plan, you've got a super talented team, but for some reason, things just aren't moving. So how do you actually bridge that gap between a great idea and real action? Well, today we're diving into the secret weapon that helps a manager ignite that all-important first spark.
Think about it. The strategy is solid, the people are brilliant, so why does a project stall? More often than not, it all comes down to one missing piece, just a single spark to get the engine running.
And that spark, in the world of management, is what we call directing. This is the part of the job that actually breathes life into all those plans and gets the wheels turning. You could say it's the active, really human part of management.
So what does directing really mean? Well, it's the whole process of getting your team moving together. It's everything from instructing and guiding them to counseling, motivating, and leading them. It goes way beyond just barking orders, It's about actively steering the ship and making sure everyone is headed towards the company's goals.
Now here's the most crucial thing to remember. All the other functions, like planning, organizing, even staffing, they're all about setting the stage. They get everything ready. But it's the act of directing that actually starts the action. Literally, nothing happens until a manager begins to guide and motivate their team.
And you can see just how vital this is. When a manager directs effectively, they don't just kick things off. They bring everyone's individual efforts together into one focused push. This not only helps employees grow and reach their own potential, but it also helps the entire organization handle change and keep its balance. It's a real game changer.
Okay, so to really get what this spark is all about, we need to kind of pop the hood and look at the different parts that create it. Let's take a look inside the engine room of management.
So directing is actually made up of 4 key elements. You've got supervision, leadership, communication, and the one we're really going to focus on, motivation. I want you to think of motivation as the fuel. You can have the best built engine in the world, but without fuel, it's just a lump of metal. It's not going anywhere.
Right, let's talk about motivation. And this isn't just some corporate buzzword, okay? It's the real psychological force that actually drives performance. It's all about understanding what makes people want to come to work and truly give it their best shot.
I really love this definition from William G. Scout. He said, motivation is the process of stimulating people to action to accomplish desired goals. That word, stimulating, is just perfect. It's not about forcing anyone to do anything. It's about tapping into their own internal drives and needs to inspire action.
And when you get motivations right, the results are just incredible. We're talking about higher performance levels, turning negative attitudes into positive ones, and even seeing less employee turnover. Big companies like Tata Steel are masters at this. They use all sorts of initiatives to build a team that doesn't just work there, but feels a real sense of ownership and purpose.
So the big question is, how do we figure out what people need? Well, one of the most famous tools for this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It gives us a brilliant framework for understanding the different levels of human needs that drive our behavior, from the most basic stuff right up to the most complex.
So everything, and I mean everything, starts at the bottom of the pyramid. These are our basic physiological needs. We're talking about hunger, thirst, shelter, the absolute essentials for survival. And in the workplace, how do you meet this need? Simple, a basic salary. It's the fundamental starting point.
Okay, once those basic needs are met, we all start looking for the next level, safety and security. We have a deep need to feel safe and protected from harm. At work, this isn't just about wearing a hard hat. It's about the feeling of stability that comes with job security, or knowing you have a pension plan for the future.
Next up on the pyramid are our social needs, which Maslow called affiliation and belonging. Let's face it, we're social creatures. We crave friendship, acceptance, and that feeling of belonging. At work, this is all about having good, friendly relationships with your colleagues and truly feeling like you're part of the team. As we climb higher, we get to our esteem needs. This level is all about self-respect, status, and getting recognition from others. Think about things like having a clear job title or simply being acknowledged for a job well done. These things are huge for building our confidence and satisfying that need for respect.
And finally, we reach the very top, the peak of the pyramid, self-actualization. This is that powerful internal drive to become the absolute best version of ourselves, to reach our fullest potential. In an organization, this translates to achieving really challenging goals and having clear opportunities for personal growth and development.
Okay, so that's the theory, that's Maslow's pyramid. But how does a manager actually use this information? Well, this is where incentives come into play. You can think of them as the practical tools in a manager's toolkit, designed specifically to address all these different needs.
And these tools basically fall into two main categories. On one side, you have your financial incentives. Pretty straightforward, right? These are all the things directly tied to money, and they are perfect for satisfying those needs at the bottom of the pyramid. But then, on the other side, you have non-financial incentives. These are all about psychological and emotional satisfaction, and they're what you use to target those higher-level needs, like belonging, esteem, and personal growth.
Now, on the financial side, you've got the usual suspects like pay and bonuses. But it can get a lot more creative with things like profit sharing or perks. Just think about how a company like Infosys famously used stock options. It wasn't just a bonus. It was a powerful way to give every single employee a real sense of ownership, a real stake in the company's future.
But let's be honest, money isn't everything, is it? Sometimes the most powerful incentives are the non-financial ones. It's that public recognition for a job well done, a clear path for moving up in your career, or making the work itself more interesting and meaningful. When you empower your employees and give them a real voice, you're tapping directly into those powerful, higher-level needs for growth and respect.
So that really brings us to our final thought for today. As a manager, you have this entire toolkit at your disposal, and as an employee, you have your own unique set of drivers. The real magic happens when you find the right match. So I want you to take a moment and think about it for yourself. Beyond the salary, beyond the paycheck, what truly motivates you at work? What's your spark?